guess what? I got a Discord server.
We're back. Without a BCG this time. That's you to talk.
What?
But
I'm sorry for drinking into the mic. I'm not used to having an open mic.
Great start. We're back. We got stuff to talk about. BCG's not feeling well. He's having internet problems again. I forget which one. He's DM'd me.
Yeah.
He DM'd me a couple days ago saying, "Hey, you gotta host. You gotta host this week." I was like, "Okay."
Yeah. Did the Lord of Salt finally succumb to his saltness?
Too much sodium levels. They hook up an IV.
Yep. Oh yeah, what are we talking about?
We got shit to talk about. We got new cosmetics. They're already on the screen. BCG's not here to say any ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Which I'm sure he's very sad about.
I know.
This is his favorite part.
He's his favorite topic to talk about. He's very sad that he can't be here to talk about him.
Okay.
So who likes to go first?
Well, let's just start scrolling down and looking at.
Go down the list. The accessory for this week.
So this is a bracelet, if I understand right.
Is it a bracelet?
It sounded like it was a bracelet. The wonders of territories invite blah blah blah. But some patience. This is symbolized with a bracelet made with the petals of their home bud.
This is like an
And
uncomfortable
should
bracelet.
you wear it, you'll find your you can walk freely among their mystical glens.
I'm assuming that this is like one of those bracelets where you tie off the end, tie it on yourself.
Tie it onto your wrist, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
At first seeing it, I was like, maybe it's like a tiara or something. But like I didn't like read the fucking thing that said like, hey, this is a bracelet.
Yeah, I know. When I saw it, I was like trying to figure out what it was because I first thought it was probably like a necklace, but yeah, wasn't sure. So I read.
I'm
It said
iffy.
there in the last sentence.
I'm always iffy on jewelry. I mean, this one's more prominent than other jewelry. Like I guarantee you're probably gonna see the giant flower sticking out of your arm. But like, I don't know, I'm always iffy on.
Yeah, because normally you're not even have a close enough view of your character to even see it, unless you try to look that close to your character.
Like,
so, yeah.
Like when we get rings and stuff like that, I always like make it entire jewelry, and then like
that would be a fun conversation to have because one thing I noticed about Lost Ark is you actually see your character because of those end of mission screens where they show like the VIP. Like in most games, you never, unless you try, you never will see like a character's face or anything like that.
Yeah, scroll in.
Yeah, with the exception of like sometimes the games have the like the little picture of the character next to the
portrait.
Their portrait. But even then, that's small. So that's something I liked, and I was wondering if there's other ways games could do that, so you could actually have a close-up of the character, which then would make things like jewelry like more important, or like not necessarily more important, but like actually mean something. It's like, oh, my character actually looks like a goober because of all this jewelry. Maybe I need to change it up.
So like, you're 100% right. This is a gigantic conversation we could dive into. I guess we could talk about that after.
We could talk about it later. Sorry for bringing it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I 100% agree though. Like that's the conversation we can't have. Faisal, what's your opinion on this bracelet?
I mean, it's the only I like it because it's different. Usually, when people think about jewelry is involved. But this one is more of this one is more of a plant-based thing, and
It's
I
a.
don't know what the centerpiece is exactly.
Don't think of
I
it
don't
like
know
a.
what's illuminating
Don't. It's like a magic flower.
Ah, I see.
It's a magic flower that glows. Basil's out of it right today, by the way. He's tired. So you couldn't tell. It's a magic flower, and don't think of it like jewelry. Think of it more like a friendship bracelet.
A
That's how I see
friendship bracelet, but where's the other?
Or like a hemp
I need
bracelet or
the second one,
something
no?
like
Well, no, I'm only saying like a friendship bracelet because like those are kind of like usually the ones where you like tie off at the end. Like a more like an old timey like I've made this for you kind of bracelet out of grass, and and you just tie.
Or like when you go to a Ren fair, one of those little things that the druids will give you.
Yeah.
Mm.
Think of it like that. Not like a not like an actual piece of jewelry.
Is this like a fantasy like concert, and they just hand this over to you and acts like a flashlight?
No, I think the way that the description works is that this is supposed to like give you some kind of not actually, but like it has some meanings and it'll help you like go into like a mystic place.
I mean, maybe that might be right. It says, and should you wear it, you'll find you can walk freely among the mystical glens. Oh, so maybe it is a protection thing. I guess I read that and I was thinking maybe it's like it like lights your path, but walking freely also might mean that things won't fuck with you.
Nice.
I mean,
now protection from all the fun guys.
It's not. It's obviously not. It's obviously not going to actually give you any kind of protection or anything. It's like store-bought cosmetic stuff like that. Saxon's interpretation of it glowing and lighting your path might be the more accurate way of doing it.
But yeah, it's I think as Faisal said, I like it because it's something different, some variety, different strokes for different folks. Gives someone some more options.
Yeah.
You okay? How you feel about it?
I like it. Thinking about how it's gonna glow though.
I mean, again, this is just like art. Like things change. Don't forget about that.
I know. I'm gonna say I like it for right now. And reserve like any kind of concerns or judgments from when we get a 3D render.
I mean, if you had played Elden Ring, there's an item you put around your belt that glows, helps you in dark places.
I can 100% agree with that.
Well, having this on your wrist, or just like an aura of glow.
We have a lot of we have a lot of aura. We have a lot of not auras. We have a lot of like flashy special effect shit in the game already. And like I'm iffy when we get newer
Oh, okay. I get that. Yeah, we're gonna be like a freaking rave party when we're walking around.
Yeah. And I'm under the interpretation that like I want the darkness to mean something, and like having like all this glowing armor. I don't know.
Man. This is not to get the fuck out, okay?
The pet, the rootling, the mandrake from fucking Harry Potter.
Little potato boy.
Mandrake?
You not remember the mandrake?
And I can barely put two brain cells together.
You're gonna look up mandrake and you get the actual like mythological thing. Mandrake's like a magic plant that like screams and kills people.
The thing where what's his face, the Hufflepuff boy, grabbed and pulled out, then he fainted after it screaming at him.
Not Hufflepuff, he's Gryffindor, isn't he?
Isn't he Hufflepuff?
I don't remember his name. He's like the accident-prone kid in the first movie, and like he eventually like grows up. Like, I'm pretty sure he's fucking.
He's the one with the sword that like did stuff, and people are like, "Whoa, he did stuff."
Yeah. So, is he Hufflepuff? Yeah, he's Hufflepuff. I don't remember. I thought I'm trying to remember if.
I thought you were a Harry Potter
Neville,
fan.
yeah, Neville. Yeah, that's what we're talking about, Z. Neville. Which house was Neville in?
Hufflepuff.
You might be right, because I remember them getting. Yeah, he was Gryffindor. I was right. He was Gryffindor.
When was he ever Gryffindor?
He's been Gryffindor since the beginning of the movie.
The fuck? He doesn't have. He has zero courage. How?
No, that's the thing. Is like at the end of the movie, he gets points for. At the end of the first movie, he gets points for standing up to his friends, and that takes courage. And so like he gets points, and then fucking yeah. Yeah.
Z is putting all the mad books on me right now.
It's the first book.
Nah. All the books.
It's really the first book. But like, back to the potato boy.
Oh.
It's ugly as hell.
Yeah,
Imagine-
which is kind of a cool option for a cosmetic.
I love it.
Obviously, people
We've had like a lot of cute little things.
people want edgy. People like variety in things. So you have the goofy ones, you have the cute ones, and then you have the edgy ones. This one falls in the category of the goofy ones.
I'll call it goofy cute. I'm not good.
Imagine this thing just following you everywhere.
I mean, that's funny because that's what it even says in the quote. Is it like showed up? I don't know what to do with it. It just follows me around, staring. Won't eat anything. So
It's
it just
waiting,
follows around, just staring.
It's waiting to feed you by using its.
Just wait till you go to sleep and it's gonna eat you. It's a pod person.
Yeah. It's fun. Another thing that's just variety. Cool to see.
Quick question: If I increase my cultivation to 100 and I take this guy and shove it into the ground like under a person, will it do damage to that person as it grows into a big ass tree?
I don't think so.
I don't know how fast it grows.
That's because cultivation is 100 bonus points. You're the infused fertilizer. Your hands are. That is.
You have the green thumb.
The green
hands. No.
All right, the mount now. I like the mount a lot. The mount's probably my favorite thing of this entire pack.
Yeah.
I really like the mount too.
Do you guys think it's a little bit too beefy?
No,
I like how beefy it is. That's what really makes me. Yeah. Like it.
the beefiness is like a positive. It's definitely I think it's definitely like a skeleton we've already seen before, but I'm okay with that. It has like a Groot kind of face, and then more of that glowing.
I think it's the neck that's like very weird about it, and that's where my finger is pointing at.
Okay, so when I first looked at this thing, I was thinking it kind of the face was kind of like a knight helmet kind of thing, where that black space was a visor. But now looking closer, I realize there's small little eyes.
Yeah, there's small little eyes, and that's a big smiling mouth. It's definitely a Groot face.
That's awesome.
And then it's got more of that glowing. I don't know if it's supposed to be glowing flowers in the back or glowing crystals or whatever the fuck that is on the back.
I think it's like petals.
Yeah.
Is it just me, or does it have a pointy thorn at its mouth?
That's what I'm saying. It has like a pointy like Groot kind of face thing going on.
Yeah, it's cool. I like seeing.
Does it have any special effects? Do you guys think it's going to have any special effects?
I could see it having that like the grass or whatever hangs off it changing with
It has branches. It's supposed to be a giant tree. I'm with Stackers, and I think that they'll probably do the same thing that they're planning on doing with the Shell of the Ancients and other stuff, like where it changes with the environment and changes with the season.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Do you think the part in the middle is going to change as well in color?
Yes, I do. I do.
Nice.
The glowing effect might change. I'm not gonna say guarantees here. The glowing effect might change to like blue, red, pink, and whatever the fourth stereotypical color is for Orange, or yeah, I think orange. Yeah.
The thing that I like about this is that when you have the pet following you around, it's basically this but larger, and it still has that goofy face, and I love it. I just love it. They've obtained my goofiness in one character. That is two.
It has a big goofy smiling face, but it keeps that kind of goofy factor. But it's also like a giant tree monster, so it keeps. It also has like a cool woodland edgy kind of thing going for it. Like it checks multiple boxes.
Hmm.
All right, we're all in agreement. We kind of like this pet to this mount.
Yeah, I want to get it.
Yep.
Next up is the armor. It's not bad looking. It's fairly standard though. Not like.
What do you mean by standard?
I don't know. I really like this look. I like the hood, trench coat look,
Same.
and the little shoulder pads. Cool.
I like
Like
the female version more.
they're trying to address druids, I guess.
They don't want druids.
I mean, I'm like a druid theme.
Well, they
Kinda
don't
like the
want
nature thing.
druid class, but
Yeah.
there's probably be druid style, at least culture or.
More that one with nature type stuff that we've seen.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The only
Like
thing.
not necessarily druids. It's just that theme.
I think you could consider them druids. Well, I don't know if these guys are considered druids, but wouldn't be surprised if there's a culture you could consider druids. One thing with these is how those leaves are going to look when on the 3D model when it's like animated and running. I could see that be tricky to get right, and I'm just not sure what it should look like even.
I don't want it to be like these are just like straight it needs to flow. Well, it needs to look like it's made out of leaves, obviously, but it needs to like. I don't want it to be straight and then your fucking legs be clipping through when you're fucking trying to run. That's not what needs to happen.
Well, no, not even that. It's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be straight, but still, when it moves, it's just going to be weird with these like leaves sticking out the way they move around, or at least I could see it being weird. But
I could see it being weird, but right now I'm like more so picturing like when you have like scale mail kind of shit. I think of it more like there's scales and moving around like that.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure that's how it's supposed to look, just with how long they are.
Yeah.
I like
looking weird.
how it gives that porcupine feel.
Yeah. Cool cosmetic.
Mm-hmm.
The boat. One of the smaller kind of like
Rowboat?
yeah, kind of like a smaller rowboat raft kind of
Like,
dinghy sized ones we haven't had in a while.
I think I would dig the boat if I was entering in an area where it's misty and swampish, I guess. Those type of biomes, but other than that, looks weird if I take it anywhere else, I guess.
Taking out in the open ocean would look weird to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I like it. I agree it would probably look weird, but I don't know. We'll see how it looks in the lighting.
I get like I'm thinking that. See, I look at this and I'm thinking like I get like Princess and the Frog and like Little Mermaid vibes. Like this is more like you're taking your sweetheart down.
Mermaid?
I know Little Mermaid was just normal ass raft. When they were a normal ass like little dinghy that they were on when they were going down the water. But like I kind of picture that scene and like with all the like the ivy and stuff like that. Like I kind of like and like with the crab singing the song and everything. I do picture it being more like the scene being more grassy.
Yeah.
But like, I'm just saying, like, I'm picturing this being a more like romantic atmosphere, kind of like boat. I don't know.
I can see that.
Mm.
Yeah, I like it. As far as small boats go, it's kind of one of the ones I've liked the most.
I don't think we've gotten a whole hell of a lot of small boats.
No, I don't think we have either.
Next up is the what were you say, Faisal?
No, I was just gonna say, like, how many boats did we have? Like, we had that medieval era boat. What's it called?
We have quite a few boats. There for a while, they were switching off between, like, 1 month is a boat, 1 month is
Caravan.
yeah, a caravan, and sometimes you could double stack.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, and some of these boats we also couldn't tell the size.
A lot of them are like you can at least guess at them being a lot bigger than the fucking. Like you can guess the size.
Yeah. Okay. So the
freehold. I like it 100%. It's got that thing to where it's in the water, and I'm like, you're not gonna have that when like last month, like a month or two ago, they had it where like it was just the thing. I don't know. Like, if it's just the freehold and not like any kind of like, I like it better when it doesn't have the background. It's just the freehold.
What do you mean? Like, does this background changes?
This has the water underneath it.
Oh,
and you're not gonna get the water underneath it.
I mean, does the water matter?
No, but it helped. Like when I'm framing it, I'm picturing it in the water and stuff like that. I can 100% picture it just like in the middle of a field or wherever you put this, and it's just like there. But like I like it better when there's nothing there. Well, when there's nothing there, it's just like it doesn't add anything. People aren't like thinking that like, oh, it's gotta change their fucking freehold into whatever biome that you see in the picture. It's just the freehold.
Yeah, I get you.
And they've done that recently. Like they've been doing it where it's just the freehold, and I've liked that a lot more. I appreciate that.
Huh. So reading the lore, it sounds like this is a like tower, like a guard tower or something that's just being overrun by plants.
I could totally see that.
Like it's not even like it wasn't built to be like this, but this is just what's happening. It's not like the tower was like a pyrite tower.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's built into the tree. It looks like the tree is growing through it.
So that's kind of neat. I really like it. When I first saw it, I thought it was like just another like treehouse. Looking at it closer, I can see that it is like a tower, like possibly a mage tower, or just a defense tower. So it looks kind of big. I like it.
For me, it's mostly like the vines and roots and how it's entangled into the house. It just fits well.
Yeah.
Like nothing's over proportion. You can see the house, you can see the plant, and bada bing, bada boom.
I like the tree grows through house aesthetic.
Yeah.
That's just an aesthetic I like. It's not an original aesthetic, but it's one I like. And we've gotten it before with a couple other cosmetics. I like it in this as well. Like I think it's another like the two big takeaways from this cosmetic pack are the mount and the freehold, with the armor being a close third. Overall, I think the set's a good set.
Yeah. I really like it.
Overall.
Yeah, I think it's good. I want to get stuff from it.
Alright, so. We want to go back to the conversation about accessories and stuff like that. Accessories and like the camera angles and focusing on your character, or we want to go down the list of like the actual topic.
What are the other topics?
FOMO, collectibles,
Didn't we spend like an hour talking about FOMO? Just going into a circle.
We did, but I figured because there's some other stuff that goes into it too, we might bring it up again. We were talking about something very specific. We were talking about the cosmetics in the shop being, if they're FOMO or not. We didn't like really talk about FOMO itself. We focused in on the cosmetics, and I think that's why like the topic had the kind of like travel that it did. But like FOMO, collectibles, prestige system, daily crafting and gathering energy, open world PvP, tab versus action versus hybrid, leveling progression. So this is a continuation of a past podcast, and then the head start.
Gosh, I'm sorry. This is on a list somewhere. The first one's because yeah, I kind of have it a little fresh in my mind, the whole thing, because it's just something I never thought about but noticed with Lost Ark, was the perspectives.
Oh, you want to go with that? Okay, we can go with that. So, just so everyone knows, I just to get this topic, I go like this is a continue. This is talking about like accessories and focusing on your character and camera angle stuff. I'm talking about what we talked about when we were talking about the bracelet earlier. The camera angle thing you're talking about, like where it focuses in on your character when you're done with a like at the end of a dungeon, when you've completed it, and it does like the who was the MVP thing, or like when you're doing PvP and it focuses on the characters, like do the introduction thing, like here are the players participating. Other games have done that. I like it a lot. I like the fact that Lost Ark does it. Other games have done it. Halo does it a lot. Especially with Halo Infinite. Every game starts off where you see your characters, where you see your guys, and then it does like another screen where like, at the end where everyone's doing like a victory pose, like the winning team's doing a victory pose thing. I don't know if it would work in a more traditional MMO, but like other MMOs also have the camera angle where they zoom in on your character, where they're doing like a cutscene, and you see your character in the cutscene and stuff like that.
Yeah. I guess the one place I kind of thought where it could be a thing is around some menus related to taverns. Like if you're sitting around a table or something. If it while you're selecting games, if the camera angle like is panning around the table, so you can get like a decent look at people while you select things, like in the background while you're selecting.
Or even like when you're playing the game, like it just shows your character playing the game.
What do you mean?
I'm saying like so.
Oh, when you're playing, yeah, that would also be cool.
Or like they're just sitting there having a drink, or like like doing hand gestures, like they're talking to each other or stuff like that.
I guess I could say
So,
just why I thought it was cool.
I passed out for a couple of seconds there. What are we talking about?
We're
Camera
talking about
angles and focusing on your character. Go ahead.
yeah. I guess what I wanted to bring up was like in a lot of MMOs, I mean, you spend time customizing your character, but for the most part, you just see the back of your character unless you actually like try to look at your character. And same thing for everyone else. No one else really sees your character unless they try. But I noticed it when playing A Lost Ark that like I spent time customizing my character's face and hairstyle, and I actually got to see it in places like the MVP screen or the start to end of PvP matches. So I thought that was kind of cool, and thinking of ways that could be incorporated in other games and like as you pointed out in Ashes couldn't have those exact examples, or it would be harder for Ashes to have those examples. Maybe like in Arena PvP you could do that.
Yeah, I was about to suggest Arena PvP. You have Arena PvP, you have the Tavern as you suggested, Starkerson.
Yeah.
And I don't see why not make camping a thing? A place that you can rest along the way, not necessarily have options and stuff.
Don't agree with that. Like if someone's got a freehold and they're set up a tavern somewhere, or like NBC, I when you say that, I'm instantly brought back to like campsites in fucking New World, and I hated that. They were just fucking.
I haven't played it, so I will know what happened.
They were fucking everywhere. Like they had a use. People abused some of the uses, and so they had to nerf the campsites a little bit. But
there were spawn points if I remember right. So you had campsites spanned all over the place.
No, I don't mean it that way. Okay.
I'm saying like if you can just plop down a campsite, then then they just be everywhere.
Well, I mean, they don't have to
like
forever.
What I mean, well, yeah, exactly. Like it's an instant thing, and once you get up from the campsite, it's gone.
Yeah, it could be something where it's like, just an easy way to recover stats.
An easy way to recover, or at least have a grub with your friends.
Yeah. I mean, there is that talk how old games, how the downtime kind of gave time for more social interactions. So like creating like some kind of camp thing where, you know, people are encouraged to, you lay down a campfire and everyone's encouraged to sit around the campfire to quicker regen their resources.
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree with them being instanced. Especially since they're wanting like especially since they're wanting as little instant stuff in the game as possible. I
don't think they should be instants.
Yeah, if they do add them, I would make them like like even Lost Ark has like campfire stuff that does like health regeneration stuff. I'm not opposed to like that idea. Like, hey, let's sit down this thing and like it regenerates our health a little bit, or we can get like a bigger, better food buff thing going on, or what have you. I think to stop them being spammable though, like if you want them to be usable and you don't want them to be spammed either, or like just everywhere, I probably make them like cost more resources than what New World cost because that's the plus. I'm comparing them.
I think you worry too much about them being everywhere like they are in Lost Ark, and I think there's other ways.
Yeah,
besides what we're talking. Like I think that's beside the point. I think there's ways to find out.
I'm aware, but I'm using New World as an example because it's the best and closest thing that I can compare it to.
Think of a spot where if people sit down, they'll regenerate their resources. And when they get up, it's gone. It's gone.
But Monster Hunter was fixed locations, though. Monster Hunter was fixed locations. You didn't pop down a camp everywhere.
Maybe to plop down a camp, someone has to initiate it. And once that person gets up, the camp is gone.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, like, if I will press my camp button, maybe it's a consumable. I sit down, I put a camp, and other people can interact with that camp. And we all chill and regain our stats. And then as soon as I get up, the camp is gone.
I'm fine with that.
We have broken the checklist of New World.
No, all right. So like, I was only focusing on New World because it's the best and closest thing to example you could give. We have to do. You guys weren't giving examples of other games that have done a similar system.
I mean, because there isn't many, and I haven't played New World, so I don't know what was the system. You just told me you can pop a campfire everywhere and it's spammable. I'm like, that doesn't sound like a camping to me. That sounds like a goddamn horde waiting to attack.
Yeah. No, and that's just like an example of.
You just brought up something though that like I was thinking. So when you go into this, are you still attackable in PvP, or are you?
I think so. Yeah.
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 So maybe you would want someone to like stay out of it and be on watch or something like that. But I mean, you'd still be like panning around. But I think the idea would be like you're focused on recovering, so you wouldn't necessarily have as like it wouldn't be as easy to keep track of your surroundings. So
I mean, it makes sense. Like it's it gives you opportunity to attack other players. Essentially,
it kind of
If you
depends on the
want to.
meta. If like people are like, "Oh, it's not a big deal. No one ever attacks people while they're at campfire, so everyone rests." Or maybe there'll be people like, we probably should at least keep one person on guard while everyone else rests and rotate people in and out. Maybe you'd have the healer rest longer because they have to regenerate more mana or something like that. Certain classes would rest longer than others. But yeah. And then, yeah. I guess outside of that, I would imagine there's just times when you're interacting with crafting stations, or when you interact with it, does New World do that where your character starts like hammering down or something, like starts some like weird and idle animation on the crafting station as you're going through the menus?
They're like cooking and stuff like that. They're not like doing. They do some of that, but not.
Yeah.
I think that's
Oh yeah, because you like do the tanning, interact with the tanning station. You have to. Okay. So yeah, you could also do stuff like that, or interacting with crafting stations. And maybe there's other stations.
I don't like smaller like cheap ammo stuff, or like if they have like ammo or like cheap consumable. Hey, I have the ingredient. I don't know if I even want that. I don't know about like the crafting station stuff being in the camp. I could 100%.
Oh no, I'm not talking about the camp anymore. I'm talking about more places where the camera position could change, so you could see your character.
Okay.
So
Getting a zoom in, like doing a crafting station where you get a zoom in on your character, and it shows them doing like an idle animation stuff. Okay.
But something like, I guess, Elder Scrolls Online, it does that a lot now.
Most games do that, where they'll show your character doing it, and I'll do like an idle animation, like working at the crafting station.
Does Final Fantasy do it? Because I only see people.
I want to say yes.
Like,
I feel like I've seen
very
Final
far.
Fantasy in your character. I've seen like a animation where they're like bending, like they're like kneeling down or something, and they're like doing something.
Like I said, most games do that.
You're very
It's not
far
uncommon
away
anymore.
from your character compared to other MMOs when crafting.
But like,
It's kind of far away, but yeah, there's still like your character's kind of bending down doing stuff.
like it still shows your character. Yeah, it still shows your character doing idle animation. The camera angle is always different and like zooms up, but like to make it more immersive and stuff like that, most games have it where like you do you're doing an animation of some kind.
Yeah, and I guess you could have the same thing for interacting with markets or like quest boards or whatever boards there are. Just change the camera. Ideally, you'd just be changing the camera's position. Hopefully, there won't be any bugs where it gets stuck, which there probably would be.
I for ones like so like half the screen. I generally in games you have like half the screen, or like in the foreground you can see your character doing animations and the camera angles changed up. But most of the time you're focused on more of the menu that you're dealing with at the time.
Mm-hmm.
or like it's either behind the menu or like half the screen is the menu, half the screen is your character. Showing your character doing this animation with the camera angle.
I like the half and half idea, or something like that, where it just be like half your screen you see the menu, and the other half you can easily see your character. So even if you're not looking at it, it's kind of in your periphery, so you're still seeing it.
But even with those kinds of things, I feel like it's like we've established that MMOs and games do have these things, like these different camera angles things. Even with those, do you feel like outside of the instance of Lost Ark, not even Lost Ark, outside of the instance of the intro battle screen where it focuses in on your character and it shows the introduction stuff? Do you feel like these other instances, like do you focus on your character enough to like pay attention to the eye color and the hair, like the hairstyle, or like if he's wearing accessories or not?
I can, like, especially if I click the craft button and I'm waiting for it to complete.
But do you? Yeah, you can. Like,
I definitely do look at it from time to time. So yeah.
I don't feel like people do that. I think people are more it's a nice little thing. You see it in the background, you hear the noises or whatever. I don't think people generally focus enough on it, especially with it usually doesn't focus on the face either. It usually does like their hands hammering down, or like that. You don't really focus. You can see the costume or like whatever their armor is. I think it's more like everything else in the game. Like if you open up the menu, or like you see your character screen, you're more focused on like what your character's wearing in terms of armor, the larger scale stuff, rather than the smaller details such as eye color or your hairstyle or your
I mean, I guess it depends on how you design your character. I mean, if you're hiding your helmet, you're going to probably see your character's face and your eye color and all that.
Yes, but I think you don't see that. I don't think it focuses in on the face enough. I will say though, like I don't like it when you have like cowboy hats or other kind of like hats. I generally don't like hats in general in games because of the fact I like the style of them, but they generally change your hairstyle to where like you either look bald or it changes the hairstyle to like some kind of like shorter
ponytail or something. It does something to clean up the hair so you're not having clipping issues.
Yeah. There are reasons for that. I just don't like the games that just flat out make you. I'm a female with like long hair, and it automatically makes my character look bald. Like I'm stuffed all this hair into the hat. Just odd.
Yeah.
I don't like that. Accessory wise though, like there have been games that have had it. Most games, I think they don't care about it. Like you don't like focus, but there have been games where like you can see the accessories on your character, and which is the thing that like kind of sparked this whole thing. And what we've talked about this in the past and stuff like that. I just don't feel like you're focusing in on a ring enough to a ring or a bracelet or like bracelets and necklaces. You have more leeway with. I think you can like kind of like see that stuff more often, but like rings, I don't think you focus in on them enough to like justify for you to be able to like you see them or like for them to be like justified in any way of being their own separate thing. Necklaces and bracelets, I said they're more justifiable, but they're kind of in that same category. Like I don't think you're focusing in on them enough. Where you're actually like they're a big enough thing to like accent anything. Like what are you care about like if you can see them or not?
Yeah, I mean they're accents. Like I don't. Yeah. 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 I guess I'm not sure quite where we're going with that. It's just we have rings. People can see them. Oh well.
We've had this conversation before of like if they're worth the price that they are, or if they should be like bundled with an entirely jewelry set.
Yeah. I could see like maybe sometimes they're more pronounced than others. Like if you're playing, like if they did the thing where you see the animation or your character playing like a card game, I mean, you'd see rings, you'd see your character holding cards, and then you'd see the rings on their fingers if you're looking, because that's kind of the focal point of the view would be the cards.
I agree with you. So like when most games where you have like if we're talking about the tavern game thing, most games have it where like you don't like you're zooming on the table. You see the table. You don't see your characters doing the thing. Maybe like everyone outside sees your characters like doing some idle animation stuff, drinking and playing the game or whatever. But most like if you have them at the table playing the game, it'll focus in on the table, and then you'll see the you'll be playing the game. Like you're focusing on the game in like the table and all the like accessories on the table. Like you're not seeing your characters actually do anything. You're not seeing your characters. You're in an entirely different menu. You just focus on the game and all the accessories and stuff on the table. It focuses more on like other shit other than your character. For there's a second thing there I lost.
You lost me, indeed.
I don't know. Like we're looking at tavern games. I'm thinking like Gwent. Not the game Gwent. Just like with the menu you're in when you're playing Gwent. You don't see Geralt or anybody else. Other like mini games or stuff like that. You're not seeing your character. You're seeing the fucking You're seeing the game, and then whatever background they have to exit the game. Similar to
the best way.
I mean, I think you
control the hands.
I don't
Just
think
make
it's
it
one of those things where
beautiful.
you need to make sure it's always visible.
no.
Just if it's the background of the game, and like for a card game, instead of having like seeing the board, you see just the camera panning around looking at characters or something like that. I think you could still play the game, and depending on the game, there'll be some games that take up less screen space than others. So sometimes you'll be seeing the character, sometimes you're not. I don't think the goal is to always make sure everyone's always like staring straight at their character and seeing it, but just like every now and then, you catch a glimpse of your character and like reminded of, oh yeah, I remember my character looked like that. It's kind of neat.
I don't think I want that in board when I'm doing the board game. I think I do want the more traditional like Gwent or Hearthstone or like chess, where I'm focused on the game and the board and like everything around it. I don't think I want it to zoom out and show like pan around the tavern of like it's gonna be in the background. It would be in the background. You can still you're still focused. Like the board's still like in the middle of the screen.
Still focused on your cards.
Yeah, you're still focused. You're still if it did this, you'd still have the board in the middle of the screen and stuff like that, and it would pan around. Like in the background, you see like pan around or what have you. I don't think I would want that though. I think I would just want it like I'm looking at the screen. Maybe like there's a mug of ale, and every so often like your character I grabs that and or like a character that could be like some fucking generic hand that comes up and grabs it. Grabs a drink grabs a drink and then puts it down.
I mean, I guess maybe could be this perspective. Maybe it's a top-down perspective, so you see the character or characters in a circle, and then in front of them is whatever they're playing. So like if it's Texas Hold'em, you'll see like they have their cards down or whatever. If you're playing Gwent, you'll see two characters across from each other, and you're looking top down at your character. And maybe there's a little animation that plays whenever you like finish your turn, where your character like puts down a card or does whatever. Does something simple and idle. Doesn't need to be very. I
could totally see. So like here's I think I prefer where you're focused on the game, not the top down thing you just said, but your top down thing to give me an idea of like when your character when you win the mini game, your character like it shows your character do like a victory pose kind of thing, like you wouldn't PvP, but like he's at the tavern sitting down and he does like a victory pose. Like one character does like an awe, like and then lays his head down, or like I lost kind of pose, and then the winner does like a victory pose, like maybe like a cheer, grabs his mug and then does a cheer, and then or
I mean, you
or-
can also have just different animations. Maybe they grab the chips, or there's something like that where they grab the money, grab the pot.
yeah, but like a victory thing, like an after victory thing. But like when you're actually playing the game, I think I much prefer like focusing on the game, although the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I'm gonna add to this is basically, even if they wanted to make all these shots, you don't want them to over exaggerate so you don't lose the feel of it being natural, I guess.
Yeah, well, it has to be immersive. Yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
no, I don't think
you-
anything
like, you're not
extreme
going to-
needs to be happening.
Yeah, like you're not gonna grab a cup of bed and you see all the goddamn jewelry come out like you're fucking Thanos.
no, it's not even meant to like. We're not talking like focusing on the jewelry and stuff like that. We're just talking about like so the entire point of this is like areas
Just so
where
you
you would
have a perspective where you see
perspective of your character.
easier to see those things.
You would see your character, and you would be able to see all the work you put in on like you're not. It's not just a man. I'm just sitting idly in town. I want to like scroll in and see my character kind of thing. Like I admire my like all my work and stuff like that. Like instances of like when you're in town, you're zooming in on other characters. Like man, I really want to look at that character. He has something cool going on. I want to look at him. You zoom in on him. More natural things. Like you're like the PvP match where like it's like starts off and like this guy's like where I see everyone on my team and everyone on their team. That guy has some cool armor and stuff. Like more stuff like that where it's like natural. I can see the character. The work of the character. Like all like it's not even just like character customization stuff. It's like that guy has a cool armor that he only got by doing collectibles, or like that guy's done the big raid, and I can tell because he has that armor. Oh, that guy has a legendary on. That guy has a legendary behind his back, like legendary great sword, and I can see him. And I can see him in doing it in a victory pose. Or I can see him in an idle animation when it's on his back and shit like that. He has it drawn with a just like areas in the game where like you can more naturally see the detail of the art that the designers put in the game, that the devs put in the game, and like the art team put in the game, but also all the work the character did in designing his character, the player did in designing their character, or all the work they did in playing the game and doing these collectibles and or like raids and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean it's whatever the player wants to show off. But
Yeah.
it's just making it easier, as you said, more natural to see the player's character.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we went over anything I can think of. Just crafting crafting animations, maybe whatever, interacting with menus and stuff. I mean, a lot of games have that where like whenever you look at your character's inventory or whatever, it like zooms in on the front of your character or something like that. Or
Yeah.
cool beans.
Cool.
Cool beans.
Okay. Crafting, gathering energy, prestige system, collectibles, FOMO.
We're at 57 minutes. Do we want to do another topic? We can. I don't mind.
Well,
Keep
let's just
continue.
start another topic
Yeah.
and see how long it lasts.
All right. Let me pick.
Faisal, your turn.
What topics do we have?
Here, I'll copy pasta.
Yes, please. Prestige system, I guess.
Okay. Prestige system. So like leveling up past like the leveling process. Is kind of the thought process here, like getting more skill points, or maybe like getting smaller buffs, stuff like that. Like I think of like way do you like the idea of Ashes Creation having a prestige system, and if so, how would you want it in the game?
I like the idea, yes. I definitely like post max level.
I'm not against it, and I'm not with it. I'm like, I think it's just extra leveling, no? It's like
Oh, well, and that's how it has. That I guess that's what I was going to get into. Is it kind of depends on how mandatory does it feel like? Does it feel like something like if you don't engage with it, if you haven't leveled to 50 and completed all your prestige, you're standing no chance in PvP or in the game? Then I wouldn't like it.
Is it like extremely minor buffs are we talking about, or is it essential to like for any other MMO player, that when they say, okay, this is max level, this is what we need to hit to become optimized or efficient with everything.
So you have a good example of prestige system. So like most games have it where like you level up and then you have like a leveling up system like after that where you'll get like small things. Examples of this are Arcade. You have the ascension system to where like you have your skills ascend and you have that you level that stuff, or you're doing PvP and you get the stat allocation bag things, the book things where you can allocate where your stats go, like take away from your strength and add to your focus or what have you. In Guild Wars 2, you get to level 60 and then you level up past that for prestige, and like for most part it's just a number that like for bragging rights, but like it does add some stuff where like in every living story expansion or inside every expansion they do, they add like mount, like the mount stuff when inside Path of Fire, or the glider stuff in Heart of Thorns. Like your prestige system like gives you points to put in that stuff. For the most part, like prestige systems, you want to have meaning and like feel like I'm rewarded for going above and beyond, or I like collectibles and like prestige systems and stuff like that. I feel like you have to make it meaningful, and if they're meaningful, if you give them meaning, then min-maxers or PvPers are gonna feel like they have to have. Like hardcore players are gonna feel like they have to have them, and if they don't have meaning, then what's the point of even having them?
I mean,
that's my entire argument there. Is that usually when they do a prestige system, they make it either not valid at all, or like not worth it, or worth it to the point it's for the hardcore players that I have to reach to this level.
yeah, it just becomes another part of the leveling system. I don't think that's the goal. Should be the goal of the prestige system.
But at the same, also like that, to counter that, you just make it like a long-term like goal thing, something you're not going to achieve by just like putting tons of work into it, like tons of hours. It still takes work. To get your prestige system, it still takes work, and like you're rewarded for the work you put into the game. But like it's not like a gigantic time sink to where like casual players feel like they're never gonna be able to reach it, and hardcore players just have to play the game for 58 hours to achieve it super fast to be done with it. It doesn't need to be another leveling process. Leveling processes is people don't care about anymore. People don't care about. They skip it and almost entirely. And I've already stated my case on. I've said it several times, like my thought process on like leveling and stuff like that. A prestige system is like the stuff you do after you're done leveling.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be another leveling process where people just don't care about it enough to like they can skip it.
Well, no, you can't skip leveling. It's something you have to care about.
But
Um,
you
I
can
think-
just mind-numbingly skip most leveling processes, which was my point.
I guess when I'm calling it a leveling process, I'm just calling it another requirement to play the game. You usually require leveling, and then if you have a prestige system that's extremely important, then you also are requiring that to play at the highest level, which is like kind of increasing the gate of entry.
Another thing to put towards a prestige system thing, against a prestige system thing is like it also ties into a bit of the FOMO thing of like I'm late to the game. I didn't come to this game earlier on, and if like a new expansion keeps adding a newer and newer like prestige thing, then you just feel like eventually like sometimes you feel like you're further and further behind. Like World of Warcraft kind of has that problem, and some people like you have a lot of stuff you need to do before you can like do the most current like rating and stuff like that. You should I like a lot of barrier to entry stuff. Like you don't want a prestige. Like if we're talking about this and like the making it rewarding or all this stuff, you don't want it to feel like it's a barrier to entry kind of thing.
And that's what I think me and Fossil are saying, is we don't want it to be used to increase the barrier to entry.
Yeah, but
but it's like the thing with you is it's what you're saying is like it needs to be meaningful. So it's that weird balance is if it's meaningful, then it, especially in a competitive environment, it can easily become a barrier to entry. I guess the best way around that is through like the horizontal progression system, and if it's designed in a way where it is, you're definitely becoming more optimal, but you aren't just scaling straight up from it.
So another example of this is like titles. Inside Eastern games, titles give you buffs and stuff. Titles generally give you buffs and stuff like that. I don't know of a Western game that does this, but like titles are another kind of prestigious thing. Like I worked for this, it gives me a buff. I did the max raid, or I've hit 2,000 in I've hit level fucking 2,000 in mining or swordsmithing, and so now I get a small buff or like a passive buff that gives me percent chance to get that rare proc. And you get a title to that. Those are other examples of prestige.
Yeah, and that, to me, that's a better system, just because that is kind of like the more horizontal. It's one title, and as long as the titles aren't like getting like ridiculously stronger, you get one title, and then since you can only use one title at a time, getting another title, you have to shut off the title you had before to turn on the new title. So yeah, that kind of system I think is good, I guess.
I agree.
I mean, it all depends on how it is. I mean, if the title is like, then if it's so good that it's required, then we have the same issue. But in a lot of systems that have titles, I haven't seen it designed that way.
Well, what do you think, Yoka?
I like the idea of prestige system, but it's a very delicate balancing system. Like and a lot of people don't like the collectibles and stuff like that inside Lost Ark because they feel they feel like they have to do it because to get like the skill points and stuff like that, or like they don't like the chaos dungeon. They don't like me feel like they have. It's much more daily stuff. I like collectibles and stuff like that. It's just like I have to do this to get there. I get there at some point. And like some people, it's just like it's all mapped out, and so like I'm just doing a checklist type thing.
Mhm.
I also think that like Ashes Creation possibly already has some prestige system stuff in it already. We know that there are going to be social organizations, and you can climb up the rankings of social organizations, and those give you benefits in some way, shape, or form. That's a type of prestige system. Climbing up that social ladder in social systems, and like religions, getting more and more favor with the god or like religion you're trying to be a part of. That gives you bonuses too.
Yeah, no, I was gonna bring that up. Yeah, we already kind of the different all the different progression paths are in a way kind of a prestige system. So a kind of progression you can do once you hit max level or whenever, to further advance your character. Yeah. And then there's also just like all the things you can do with crafting, to change like change your build, change your stats. You can, I mean, we've been told about like potions and stuff you can do to, same as Arcade, sacrifice one stat to get more in another.
Yeah.
So they're not labeled the same way as like some prestige systems like Arcade, where it's like you're gaining XP and you're seeing the benefit, and it's very, I guess I want to say linear or easy to see, which I think there might be some advantages to that. For the same reasons we just have leveling systems in general.
After a while,
people are used to it.
After a while, the ascension levels stop like meaning something, and they're just how do you feel like bragging right ascension levels? Well, like in Guild Wars 2, you have most of that time, like the ascension like levels past your fucking your actual leveling bar. They're just bragging right. Like I'm level 1,350. That's just bragging right. You don't get like an actual like big bonus, like any kind of stat bonus or anything like that. It's just like a bragging right thing. Arcade, your ascension levels do the same thing. You get bonuses for certain things in like Lost Ark, where you have your like account level.
The roster system.
Yeah, the roster level. Yeah, so like you have a lot roster level, and you get like stat buffs and stuff like that. I think they do it to a straight like a next level to where like that's not just a that's not bragging rights. But how do you feel about ones to where like I level up past my level, but it doesn't give me any kind of stats or skill points or anything like that? I'm just it's just showing like how much I've played the game.
I think that's fine. It'd be nice if like they, as time goes on, they add like at least like something like cosmetics or something to those, so you can like, so there's like that incentive to do it, or even if there isn't a benefit right now, like in the future they'll add something for you to add something to the system to reward you for getting so high. I guess I'm thinking that'd be kind of low weight, but also like an easy way to just give someone that's like,
I mean, Guild Wars 2 does that. What does that for? Like you have the thing, and then you can you unlock either like little luck or generally prestige. Some prestige systems do have it where like they give you like little rewards. Like in Guild Wars 2, you have it where like you'll get like luck orbs or maybe some laurels or something like that. And then like your big milestones, you have
like the legendary components or something like that.
Not like legendary, like you have cosmetic. I'm starting to list off you do have some legendary components, like stuff like that, like obsidian shards and stuff like that. But like I'm talking about the cosmetic. You have like the two cosmetic sets that you unlock at like certain tiers if you're milestones if your prestige system of like you have the radiant set and then like the molten set.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, I think it would be best if it was kind of kept cosmetic. Maybe like do some fun things with the different cosmetics that are rewarded for it.
I mean, but
as long as
why did it always had to have an incentive? don't you guys consider it like to be an achievement or something like a prestige?
I guess I just think it can be an incentive because I'm just thinking of a very low effort way of getting like a small reward to people who have achieved it. I'm not saying like every month release a new thing for people who have the next prestige. It's like every year or 2 years, people who have reached X prestige. When you get X prestige, you get this cosmetic reward.
Yeah.
So.
There's two things to what you just said, Faisal. Like one, like for the prestige system, I do think that you do. It would be nice to give a reward. Like you've done this extra thing, and so you've been playing the game for so long, or you've done this extra thing, and so like it'd be nice if it was a little bit rewarding. But at the same time, to your statement, at the same time, like every game nowadays has feels like it needs to have a battle pass of some. I've logged in today, or I've done. Go ahead.
Yeah, and that's what I think is the problem. No.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. Is like
we got too used to these things that if the game doesn't have it, we feel like it's something wrong with it. But that's not necessarily the case. No.
No, yeah. When you're one, I was what I was gonna say. Like you're 100% right. Games no longer became about like the fun I'm having in the game, like playing the game and having fun in the game, and now I feel like I'm peaking a lot more than I should be. But like, yeah, they no longer are about the game and having fun in them, and now that like all they are is like, hey, let's like, what can I get out of it? What am I being rewarded with?
Exactly. Like,
I guess with the prestige system, I think the thing isn't to just encourage people to constantly level. It's just like as people play the game, they do see this little thing go up. That gives you that little dopamine, like, yay, I did something today, even if I didn't get that much done.
I guess. I don't know. Or the ways of the Elden Ring would say, get good.
You don't really need you don't really need a prestige system in a single player game, though. Like I'm thinking about like other. I know you were just joking and bringing up Elden Ring, but like you know, like all the multiplayer games that do a prestige system. You have it in shooter games. You have it in VRs. You have it in like MMOs. You've had it for a while now. Even like battle passes, where like, hey, I pay a subscription. You have a free battle pass. You have like you have a paid for a battle pass, a subscription paid battle pass. Like League of Legends and stuff like that has it. All BRs obviously have it. That's like one of the main money making ways. But like lately MMOs have it. Like it's definitely a big thing inside like Eastern MMOs of the battle pass system too. Like you have the free one and you have the paid one that gives you like fucking embers this month, and then you eventually like unlock some like major cosmetics and stuff like that.
And maybe that's what it could do too. Maybe it could just be like every X prestige you get embers, which is just kind of like a nice like here's a little bit of money that you could go spend in the cash shop for playing the game as much as you have. I guess my thing is I don't think it should be like an incentive. Like people are like, oh, gotta grind my prestige to 100. I wouldn't want it that way. I'm just trying to think of a way where it's just like kind of like a nice little thing that you see every now and then. It's like, oh, I hit 100 prestige because I've been no life in this game for a year. Yay.
Alright.
Yeah.
I guess we're done for today. We'll be back the 27th. I think that'll be after the live stream. So hopefully the 27th, maybe the 27th. Hopefully BCG will be with us at that point in time.
Do you guys believe that we're going to see character customization or no? They haven't said anything.
Yeah.
Then I don't want to say anything in fear of breaking NDA.
Okay. Then we'll wrap it up then.
It's one of those things where they aren't going to want to show it to the wider audience until it's like nicer.
Really? Yeah.
Just because we all know there's people who are dumb.
Yeah. I get you.
It's just if you show something that's not complete, or even if it's like it has all the functionality, people will use it as a vector of attack on the game. Or like, so it's just
until it's done. We've had a bunch of like character customization. Well, I think last time or the time before that we had a gigantic character customization talk. I think I was on the opposite end of. I think you three were in a kind of an agreement on that one. I think I was on the opposite end of the spectrum on that conversation. I was allowed to look back at the video, but like I don't think my thoughts on that will change until I see what it's done in its complete state. I don't think I it's obviously going to be a first pass at it if they win and if we get it. So I can't make any like solid judgments off of it or give it give me any kind of like say like, oh, this isn't the fucking Black Desert Online. This isn't even fucking comparable to the Black Desert Online fucking character customization. You're fucking liars. Yeah. So
off with the head.
Off with the heads. Yeah. So until that's in like a more complete state where they can say where they're saying like, hey, this is like more indicative of what you should be seeing. Until we're at like I'll say Alpha 2. Like later Alpha 2 to beta state of like the character customization, I'm not gonna say like I'm gonna give my feedback on the character customization. Don't get me wrong, and like say like, hey, this is where you can improve this, or like this is what needs to be changed, yada yada yada. All the feedback like they're probably wanting with showing us it, but saying like indefinitely like this is wrong, like this is like it's a good system, but it's not what you promised kind of thing, like I was saying like last time. I can't say that till it's in a more complete state.
And then we're gonna still debate, because then I think we're almost getting into semantics.
I think yeah, you're right, we're still gonna debate. I think I'm still gonna disagree with most people. Given how the conversation went last time, I think I am still gonna disagree with everybody here.
I mean, we'll still have to wait and see, honestly.
Yeah. Alright. That is it for today. Like I said, we'll be back in 2 weeks. Hopefully BCG will be there. If not, then I'll probably be hosting again. Thank everybody for showing up. Thank you, Basil. Thank you, Jackson.
I should have passed out 2 hours ago.
But yeah, I'll switch this over and bye everybody.
Bye bye.
Bye.